Hello Badass Crew and welcome to Busted Knuckles. My name's Steve Belaire and I'm your host. Today we're doing something a little different. Last week we looked at all the biggest bikes that all the manufacturers had to offer. Today we're going to go look at just a bunch of bikes. Just from the different manufacturers. You can just sit back and window shop or daydream about all these beautiful bikes and maybe see something you really want. So to me this is something I really love doing, just looking at bikes. So I hope you enjoy this. Okay.
In the Moto Guzzi line of motorcycles, this without question is our most popular line of bikes. The ones that people really go to and really love, the classic styling, the old school European look, that cafe racer kind of look that's really trending right now. Everybody really loves when they come to this dealership, this line of motorcycles. Now, I'm standing in front of 5 different bikes, but to be honest, they're all really the same. They're all a V7.3. Now let's break that down. It's a V-twin. They're 750 cc's, and it's the 3rd rendition of this motorcycle. It actually celebrated in 2017 its 50th year with the Moto Guzzi motorcycle company. So it's a 3rd rendition that's come out. It's a tremendous motor, very torquey. It's impossible to not smile when you get on one of these motorcycles and hit the throttle. The personality of that transversely mounted motor that we've talked about before, and the advantages of that with the Eldorado and the Adache, that personality of that motor, riding in the wind, keeping it cool, nice straight shot back with the drive shaft, true dual exhaust going on the motorcycle. But even though it's an old school appearance, even though this motor's been made for 50 years, we've got traction control on the motorcycles, Brembo brakes, ABS, so truly again, where art is meeting technology. If we were to break down the bikes, the first here is it's called a racer. And this racer is truly a cafe racer. The pegs are set a little bit farther back. The bars the grips are now clip-on, so it gets you down. What's sort of neat about this one is this particular racer, there's only 200 made worldwide. This one here is number 141 of only 200 made worldwide. This next one here is called a Special. You'll see some more chrome treatments with some laced wheels. Really nice paint job, paint scheme, two-tone paint with cleared over striping, chrome exhaust, seat rail on that one. This next one here, I don't know if it's bronze, I don't know if it's brown, I don't know what color it is, but it's a beautiful flat paint finish. It's actually called a night pack. It's really the same as the standard stones, which we'll talk about in a second, but what it has is LED lighting out front and back, which just lights up the night sky when you start this bike, in combination with a really nice paint job. And then our most popular of all of the Moto Guzzi motorcycles we sell, we've got an example of one in here in red and one here in black, is called a Stone. They're a no-nonsense, blacked out, cast wheel motorcycle. Represents such a great value at in and around $10,000 for those bikes. We sell a lot of those Stones. Certainly our most popular motorcycle in the line. We've got to actually want to talk about reliability. We actually sold a customer a V7.3 in 2017. His name is Dan McLeod with Powwow Moto. Last count, and this is a long time ago now, back in June of this year, and I haven't asked him how many miles he has on his bike now, but in 2017, at the beginning of 2019, he had 42,000 kilometers on his motorcycle without a hiccup. Never in here for service with anything broken, just regular oil changes and stuff like that. But the motorcycle was just going strong. I've seen him do a lot of miles this year. He's on Instagram and stuff. I could only venture a guess that he's over 60,000 kilometers on his motorcycle now. So if you want to talk about reliability, that's where Moto Guzzi really, really shines. They're infamously a reliable motorcycle to purchase.
Wow, looking bike.
All right, so here we are today at Wildwood Motorsports. I'm Gerald O'Neill, and I'm presenting here is R9T BMW Pure model. The Pure model is their base model, which is as close to going back to the classics as you can get.
What is the model number again? I'm sorry.
It is the R9T Pure.
Okay.
So the Pure model, standard equipment would have alloy wheels, but this one's going a little bit closer back to its original form with spokes. We've got the dual discs made by Brembo. Very classic, single gauge, pot headlight, air-cooled engine with the oil cooler. This is going back to the real classics. So we got about 110 horsepower out of this motor.
Whoa.
That's going to be a real nice performance bike without being crazy power. It also features a shaft drive, which is very unique. Most sporty style motorcycles or anything that's going back into the 70s styling is almost always going to have a chain, but this is a shaft. Beautiful classic style with modern technology. This is the R9T.
This is nice. Man, that is just one sick looking bike. Man, I can't even tell you, that is such a cool bike. Okay.
Hi, I'm Gerald O'Neill with Wildwood Motorsports. Here today we're going to talk a little bit about this 2019 Yamaha R6. R stands for one thing, and I'll let you guess that. It's race. So this bike is set up from the factory. Basically the Yamaha R6 comes fully equipped with fully adjustable suspension front and rear, a real high performance inline 4-cylinder. This thing puts out in the range of 130 horsepower. The performance factor on this bike is not for the meek. This is designed to go out and win races. So when a bike is built like that, we're not suggesting it's a beginner's bike, but with proper training, I suggest a day at training school up at Gimli would be a good idea. But this is an amazing bike. This is a dream bike. When you ride this motorcycle, you know you're riding something serious. Everything from the looks of this motorcycle to the technology put into it, which is very visible in its looks. I'm almost speechless when it comes to a motorcycle to take out and feel the performance and the handling and how technology is tied into that. This is one of the most amazing motorcycles in the world in its category.
Perfect.
All right, so right here we have a 2019 FXDR. So it's based off of the Softail platform. It shares the same frame as, you know, your typical Fat Boy or your Breakout, but it uses a unique bodywork. So this rear tail section here is unique to this model. It has a unique rear swing arm that's aluminum, all one piece. Same with the rear frame section behind here, it's all aluminum, so it's designed to be lighter actually, to save some weight. The front of the bike has a bit more rake to it. It uses the inverted fork on the front end, so a little higher performance. Dual front disc brakes. And the bike also comes with the ABS and security standard too, so it's a pretty loaded up bike, but basically it's designed to look like a drag bike. If you ever seen those Harley Davidson dragsters before online or on TV, this is kind of what it's designed to look like, because it's got the big snorkel here right from the factory to the 2-in-1 performance looking pipe, and those actually add a little bit more horsepower to the bike right out of the box, so a little bit of a benefit there too. This bike's got the quick adjuster suspension here, so you got a little knob there to preload the rear suspension. It's got the unique gas tank as well, and the kind of racy looking clip-on style handlebars here that you can actually adjust the angle a little bit with.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's if anyone out there remembers the V-Rods, they discontinued those in 2017. So this is, I think, Harley's kind of stab at, you know, that market again, trying to appeal to that certain market, because the V-Rod is a very unique bike. So if you sit on this bike, it has the same feel as a V-Rod. It just does. It has the different motor. It doesn't have the old fully liquid cooled motor. It still uses the air and oil cooled Milwaukee 8 powertrain.
Wow. That is really a step outside their norm, eh?
It is, yep.
Just do the walk.
They even designed the front wheel, I remember hearing, with very thin spokes, as light and as thin as they could, so that just to save any weight that they could, to make this lighter than your typical Softail.
So I'm guessing it's a fast bike.
It is, yeah.
Nice one. It looks fast.
Yeah, lots of torque with that big motor.
Look at how serious that wheel is.
Yeah, it's the biggest in the lineup. That's a 240 millimeter rear tire.
Probably doesn't have any problem smoking it either.
No, yeah, you can lay some black strips with that one.
Okay, so here we have a Springfield Dark Horse. The Dark Horse lineup is going to have the flat black with the blacked out motor. The Springfield is hard bags with a quick detach windshield. Actually, the Dark Horse does not come standard with this windshield, but very easy to drop one off. Drop one on there.
Oh.
Pops on and off. Quick and easy. Just the way you want it. So this bike will also have the 111 cubic inch motor.
Wow.
The new 2020 will have a 116 as a stock motor. And same chassis, same suspension as, say, the Roadmasters, which is the air shock, monoshock in the rear, with about 4.8 inches of travel. And same frame, aluminum frame. These bikes feel very light because the low center of gravity gives you that very nimble feel. And low seat height too, which is easy for a lot of people too. You can also get it in a gloss finish with the chrome motor.
Oh, is that right?
Or your classic. And then you also get the skirted fender with that as well. Indian's trademark fender.
I love the look of this bike, man.
You do still have some of the features in the gauge. So you have tire pressure system. You have your range, your fuel economy, your RPM.
Okay.
Through this little digital readout.
Oh, yeah.
The cruise control.
Nice.
The new 2019s will have a 3 different throttle mode as well. So you can do a tour, a standard, and a sport mode.
Okay.
And that actually just changes the speed at which your throttle body opens up. So the sport mode would make it feel a lot more
Oh, is that right?
quicker throttle response. Where the
Oh,
tour
that's
mode,
interesting.
the tour mode would be handy if you're riding 2 up and shifting gears. You're not banging heads off your passenger and a little bit more smoother.
Okay, now I understand. Because I've been there.
Yeah. But if you're out by yourself and you need to get up and go,
Yeah.
sport mode's a great
This is
mode for that.
just such a beautiful bike. I love that.
Yeah, that warm bonnet.
That is just beautiful.
This bike has the 19-inch front wheel as well.
Oh, yeah.
Fender.
Sweet.
Now this doesn't light up when you turn the bike on,
Right?
but we can make that light up if that's
Is that right?
yep.
Yeah. I think I'd want one that lights up.
Yeah.
You got an Indian, you want to show it off.
Okay, here we got our 2019 Rebel 500. Hands down the best selling motorcycle for us from Honda this year. Absolute great beginner's bike. Some of those features that do benefit for the beginners are very low seat height, so even the shortest person can have both feet planted on the ground at all times. Standard ABS, 6-speed transmission with a slipper clutch. 500, some people do underrate them, but it is a light bike at 410 pounds with 48 horsepower, so it does move very good, as well as gives you plenty of passing power on the highway. Of course, it is fuel injected, electric start, very low maintenance. Of course, Honda's reliability that also comes along with this machine. You get the standard back seat, passenger back seat with the foot pegs, 6-speed transmission, liquid cooled, and overall just a great motorcycle. And of course it has that classic bobber look to it. And it basically gives you a blank canvas and allows you to accessorize it any way you want. And of course the fat tires are very beneficial for these horrible Winnipeg roads we have here. You know, tracking those tar grooves, as well they give those beginner riders a real safer feel to their riding.
So you say they can customize, so you guys have custom parts available for this bike?
So they do the rear fender, the bobber delete kit they call it, the exhaust. They have a front shrouding kit for it.
Oh, is that right?
Handlebar selections.
Oh.
Rear backrest for it. Multiple tank covers for it. Windshields for it. Saddlebags. What else do they have? Different front fenders. I've seen different rims for them.
So it's going to be hard to find two of these that look the same.
Just a little bit of everything.
Nice.
And in that matte black finish, you can't beat it.
I just love the look.
Alright, so we got the 2020 Yamaha R3 here. This year comes in the full MotoGP graphics package. Basically designed after their 2019 MotoGP season bikes. You know, some people really underrate these bikes as they think it's only 300, but it's a 300 parallel twin, of course fuel injected 6-speed transmission in them, but they do make about 44 horse, and they will actually surprisingly take a Honda CBR 500 in a drag race like it's standing still. These guys really love their 8 to 10,000 RPM and just pulls gears. Top speed on them about 187 kilometers an hour. That's about all you'll get out of it, but you'll get there pretty fast.
Wow.
Standard features, you do have adjustable rear suspension. Updates for 2020, as well as the 19s were all complete new body styling with them. Digital gauge, new suspension settings for the front forks, which makes a lot of difference in the ride of the motorcycle. And of course, it's got a new design and shaped tank, so when you hop on the motorcycle, you really feel like it's meant to be around you. You feel like it's meant for you.
Nice.
And just overall stunning motorcycle.
Yeah, that's a good description.
It's an eye catcher, this one. It truly is. Yeah, these things are really underrated.
That is a gorgeous bike.
Okay, so you've got a cottage in the Whiteshell, or wherever it is you might be, and you've got some dirt roads around or some gravel roads around. Or let's say, for instance, you just want to take a motorcycle up to 7-Eleven up your street and ride around the neighborhood. Introducing Suzuki's Van 200. Now, how they came up with the name Van, I'm sorry, I can't help you with it, but that's exactly what it is, Van 200. It's a 200cc motorcycle. This isn't something you're taking for highway trips. This is something you just jump on for fun. If you want to go for the afternoon, when you're at the lake and you want to drive up that gravel road or that fire road, this is the way to do it. It has a really nice low seat height. A lot of the suspension comes from the oversized rear tire, and it's obvious with this great big huge giant seat that you could fit on this with a friend as well, and you can go up that fire road and go see what's on, or over that bridge, visit the store when you're at the lake, that sort of thing. What an absolutely gorgeous old school motorcycle. Even when you look at the gauges in the front, there's a neutral green light and the turn signal light and the low gas warning. The only thing that this thing really is missing is a carburetor. It's a fuel injected motorcycle, so it is completely up to date, but they still stay with that current new antique in a box look with Suzuki. So if you want to take some advice from an old guy like me that's been hanging around in the motorcycle business for about 25 years, I'll tell you the same way as I tell lots of my customers. If you're making a motorcycle purchase and you're trying to make a practical decision, you're trying to make a decision that makes sense, then you're buying a motorcycle for all the wrong reasons and you're buying the wrong motorcycle. When you buy a motorcycle, think about when you park that bike that you're forced to turn around and look at it when you're walking away. When you know that that's the case, then you know you've purchased the right motorcycle. This isn't a practical purchase. This isn't something that makes sense. This isn't a need. This is a want. You might as well purchase yourself a motorcycle that really, really makes sense to you. Kawasaki is very much in tune with that. And over the last few years, they've made some great leaps and bounds going in that direction. This I'm standing in front of a 2019 Kawasaki Z900 RS, which RS stands for Retro Sport. This is the performance of the two that I want to talk to you about. This is the performance side. It starts off as a Z900, which is a performance motorcycle, inline 4-cylinder, liquid cooled, 123 horsepower motor, but it's made on a retro style motorcycle. So if you want the best of both worlds, if you want a real classic motorcycle look, one that'll make everybody turn their heads and have a look at it, plus a motorcycle that's really gonna perform for you, then the Z900 RS is a tremendous, tremendous choice. There's actually a cafe version of this one as well. Then we can move on to this bike here, which is in the W series. In the early 1970s, Kawasaki had a W series motorcycle, a W series, I think it was a 650 back in the 70s, and they came out in 2019. Very, very exciting line. This is a parallel twin stand-up engine, true dual exhaust going down both sides because it's a parallel twin that's sitting. This bike not only looks awesome, but it sounds awesome. This bike here, you'll find, will be a terrific motorcycle to take for a ride up to Lockport and just enjoy riding an old school bike. This bike here sells for in and around $10,000. The Z900 Retro Sport sells for in and around $13,000. But both have that real classic Japanese look that is really, really in style right now.
Okay, so here we have the Scout 60 and the Scout Bobber. And the differences really between them are going to be, the 60's got a 60 cubic inch motor. The Bobber's going to have the 69 cubic inch motor. As you can see, the Bobber, a little bit more chopped fenders, a little different tread pattern on the tire. The straight bar, the drag bar, with the bar end mirrors. 6-speed transmission, 5-speed transmission. Both very, very good bikes. Low seat height of 25 inches, very lightweight bike too, so it's been quite popular because they appeal to a lot of different riders. Whether you're new, whether you're male, female.
Easy to drive is what you're saying.
Riding for 30 years, 30 plus years. These are great, great first bikes or even last bikes.
Nice.
So, yeah, they do still have, like all the Indian bikes, they'll have a little bit of a readout to show you your digital RPM gauge.
Oh yeah.
What gear you're in as well.
Nice.
And trip 1, trip 2, and things like that. This is the liquid cooled.
Oh, it's a liquid
motor as well. Yeah, fuel injected, liquid cooled, which is how it produces the 100 horsepower out of this 69 cubic inch, and then I think 78 out of the
holy
60
smokes.
cubic inch. So,
oh my god, I want to see this one ripping down the street.
yeah. Come take one for a ride. You won't be disappointed.
I bet. That is beautiful. Perfect.
Hi, I'm Gerald O'Neill with Wildwood Motorsports. Today we're here looking at our start-off motorcycles. Are basically a motorcycle that you may start off with as a beginner rider, or you're restarting as somebody that wants to get back into riding. The BMW GS and R310s, these are amazing bikes. So a 310cc single cylinder counterbalanced engine, very modern technology. This is one of the most beautiful little bikes to ride. It's not going to do the same job as an 850 or a 1250, but for somebody who wants the enjoyment of getting out and riding, and our streets aren't always the best, so this bike with the larger wheels and the longer travel suspension is going to take the potholes and the bad road conditions beautifully. It's going to handle like a real car. It cruises beautifully at 100 kilometers an hour, so we've had people put 10,000 kilometers in a year on one of these motorcycles and be very happy with it. So this is the GS version, and down here we have the R model. The R model is a little less money, and it has a few less features. It doesn't come with the rear carrier that the GS does. It has a little bit smaller, sportier wheels, a little shorter travel suspension, but a nice low seat, very lightweight, very easy to handle, and everybody that's bought these, they're all very happy and very impressed by their qualities and fun. The fun factor is big. They're not a race bike, but they've got lots of fun.
Nice. Okay.
All right, so we got the Sportster lineup here. There's two different engine sizes for the Sportsters. There's the 883cc models, and there's also a few different 1200cc models, as you can see down the row here. We're going to start with this 883 Iron here. This is one of our best sellers here. Really good bang for your buck. Good entry-level bike, and it's probably one of our best sellers. It's been one of our best sellers for the last several years now. So just a nice, clean-looking bike, old-school looking, nice blacked-out look that everyone's after these days. And it's got a starting price point of around 11 grand and change, so it's good for a lot of people to start out with. And they're very easy to customize. You can order these with the ABS and security, the extra options. We typically order ours without because we feel that people are after that lower price point, but that is an option. But otherwise they're typically kind of a bare bones bike, good for around town. If we move down the row here, we got the 1200cc model. So this is a 48. It's a 1200cc, again, vintage looking bike. They put the fatter front tire on there, almost like the cat squash idea that a lot of people talk about. So this has got that unique look. The same thing, it's got the small peanut tank, even smaller than the 883 Iron, so a neat kind of old school bobber look to it. And if we move down the road here again, this is the 48 Special, which they actually just discontinued this. They only have the regular 48s now. But this one has the vintage paint scheme. You can see kind of an ode to the AMF days. A lot of people like that look. And then if we move further down the line here, we've got the 1200 Irons. So similar to the first bike we were looking at there, the silver one, but this is the 1200cc version. And they put a mini 8 hangers on it right from the factory, a little quarter fairing, kind of a fancier seat with stitching on it. And same thing, it's got the vintage graphics on these bikes with a completely blacked out look. So again, it's a great price point for a lot of people starting out, or just something, someone wants an easy bike to customize just for kicking around town. Great bikes for that. One of our best sellers again in the last couple of years.
Very nice. So what do you think? Pretty awesome, eh? Did you pick one out? So come back next week and we'll try it again. Take care.